The Glock pistol is quite possibly one of the most popular and proven pistols that there may be on the market today, but a peculiar phenomenon about the Glock pistol is, for some reason, it's the most recommended pistol from current gun owners to new gun owners. As a matter of fact, recently I had somebody that was a new gun owner in my life, and they asked me what I recommended, and when I recommended a few things, the Glock was not on that list, and his response was, well, everybody's told me that the Glock is what I want. Now, we also did a video recently with Maggie where she had expressed that the #1 returned gun in the last several years was a Glock, because when there was the gun rush in 2020 and 2021, most people went out and bought Glock pistols based on the recommendations from friends and family. Now, here's the problem. This is why they keep getting returned, is because it's not explained to people really how semi-automatic guns work. What's the difference between striker fired and hammer? What is the difference between single action and double action? What is a manual safety? Is it a big deal to not have a manual safety? These are questions that new gun owners typically don't know to ask. That's why the Glock tends to be a recommendation that most people will give, because it's a great pistol, but for new gun owners, it takes a high level of responsibility to have a striker fired trigger without a manual safety. And of course, everybody says, well, your finger's the safety and blah, blah, blah. I hear you. But if you YouTube accidental misfires, what you're going to see is you're going to see a bunch of people shooting themselves with Glocks. And we're talking about police, military, civilians of all sorts who've been carrying forever, accidentally shooting themselves with Glocks. And it's because it's a strike-fired trigger without a manual safety, and it takes a high level of experience and dedication and carefulness to own a Glock, and which is why most people tend to, especially first-time gun buyers, when they go out and they buy a Glock based on the recommendations of loved ones, then they end up returning it. It's the most returned handgun in the last 3 years, by far, by far. And this is why. So I just want to take a moment. I'm not saying Glock's a terrible pistol. I'm not telling you that that your recommendations aren't necessarily good, but I just don't think they're good for first-time gun owners at all, to be quite honest. And even with the experience that I have, I don't carry a Glock. I own a Glock, but I don't typically carry one because I'm just not a big fan of carrying a striker-fired trigger without a manual safety. And again, I'm a work in progress. This is my own issue. A lot of people just strongly disagree, and that's okay. But as far as new gun owners, I just think a Glock's a terrible recommendation. If you're a new gun owner and your loved ones, your family are telling you to go out and buy a Glock, I think you might think twice about that. Because in the end, I don't think, even with my gun recommendations that I give people, in the end, what I always say is it's kind of a personal thing. There's a reason why there's so many thousands of different guns out there, is because there's thousands of different, or billions of different people out there. So, each one is different, and each gun owner is different. Each hand is different. Each firing technique is slightly different. Each need is different. There's a reason why there's so many different firearms at so many different calibers. Don't jump onto the Glock bandwagon just because all your Glock fan people are recommending Glock. Don't jump on the bandwagon. Go out, find out for yourself. And again, if you're thinking about buying a Glock, think twice. Just think about it for a little bit. Make sure you know what you're doing so you don't have to go through the process of trading it in for something else in the very near future. Because in the end, it's about safety. Why people return them? Safety. That's why they did it. Again, it takes a lot of responsibility and a lot of experience, in my opinion, to carry a Glock. So love to hear your thoughts and comments on all that. Again, if you're thinking about buying a Glock, I think twice, especially if you're a new gun owner. Know what you're getting. Again, I'm not saying Glock's a bad gun. It's one of the most proven guns out there, but know what you're getting. Know the dangers of the whole setup of the gun. Just be aware. Know what you're getting. Don't just get it because your friends told you to get it. So, love to hear any thoughts, comments on that. Put them below. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. Feel called to support this channel with Patreon. That link is also below. But the most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests. So don't ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns. As many of you may or may not know, about a year ago I was dealing with a very serious heart condition. And through some procedures and a dramatic change in my lifestyle, I've found my way to a whole different level of health. And one aspect of that, and it's something that I believe is extremely important to talk about because Americans are not talking about it. I've really never heard anybody talk about it, to be quite honest, is the health benefits from the super hot peppers like a Trinidad scorpion pepper, because that has been one aspect of what I have done over the last year. Is a friend of mine who lost 110 pounds in 7 months just drinking a drink that he made with Trinidad scorpion peppers. I've been doing that as well. I saw how it changed him. I wanted in on that. And what it has done is it's been one aspect of it. Of course, diet, exercise, that sort of thing is very important as well. But what this has done is not just allow me to lose weight, but I sleep better. I have a better outlook on life. I was actually having lunch with the guy that makes this the other day, and his brother committed suicide. He was dealing with addiction, he was dealing with depression, and he committed suicide. And my friend believes wholeheartedly, had he invented this drink before that, he would be alive today. And I kind of question that, like, well, that's a big statement to make. But ultimately what he's claiming is the capsaicins in those super hot peppers really satisfy your pituitary gland, which is the basis of addiction. And if you watch Johnny Schofield on YouTube, check him out. But he's fought addiction, and now he's addicted to hot peppers instead because it satisfies that same desire. So I think it's important to talk about better outlook in life, sleep better, lose weight, fight addiction. The link's below. Check it out. Just drinking Trinidad scorpion peppers, and it is hot. I'll give you a little warning, but he's taken out the binding agents that, so when it's hot, it's only hot for like a minute or two. It doesn't burn for hours. So there you go, man. I couldn't put down Trinidad scorpion peppers. This is how I do it. That link is below.